joining us now for more United's continued demise. 1990 treble winner, Peter Schmeichel. Morning to you, Peter.
Morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Jeff. Well, how am I? Why? Not very good, to be honest.
What did you make of yesterday?
Honestly, what you just played out there is a really, really difficult listen. It is. It's hard to hear that. It's hard to hear the narrative of around Manchester United. It was difficult yesterday to. I was working on TV, and what do you see? What do you say when you come into the program thinking, it'd be very good if we just lost this game 1-0. That's terrible for a Manchester United supporter. That's really difficult because I'm not used to that. I mean, I followed the team as much as I could back in the 70s, and I remember back then I couldn't watch much of it, but follow the results. And every time I saw that team losing, I was devastated. I was distraught. But this just feels a little bit worse, to be honest.
Looking at it, Peter, I think you're absolutely spot on. I looked at the teams, watched the game yesterday, and when the teams come up, I'm actually saying to myself, I can't believe this. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking Manchester United at home against anybody. Everybody just fancied Arsenal. That's where Manchester United are at this moment in time. And we've had a couple of guys on this morning. Peter, how long is this going to take? Because clearly it's going to be years. It's a massive, massive job that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has undertaken, and it's going to be a long, long time, because not only are you going to have to get improvement in United, you're going to have to expect a little bit of maybe a demise in Arsenal and indeed Manchester City, and that doesn't look like happening either.
No, you're true. Very, very true. Jim's already said that in a couple of interviews that he's done about a month ago. He did one where he said that it is a big job. So many things need to change. And it's going to take some time. And what I'm asking for is some patience and some understanding that this is what's going to happen. We can talk from now on until the cows come in about who's to blame and what's wrong and all that. The thing is, everything is really wrong. So I think now is the time you stop pointing fingers at players, managers, whatever has gone wrong in the last 10 years, because it's not this year. It's 10 years. 11 years really since Sir Alex left the club, and then start focusing on what to do and use the energy on positive things. How do we change things? How do we support the team? I have to say, one thing that's made me incredibly proud to be a Manchester United supporter was the support on Monday night at Selhurst Park. The supporters were absolutely fantastic, and I said before the game, the supporters before the game yesterday, that the supporters today needs to do a similar thing and show the players that there's still some love and some care for the club. And they were brilliant yesterday. In spite of the rain, they were brilliant.
They were brilliant. There's no question about that. That constant chanting throughout the second half of Spirit in the Sky, that great Norman Greenbaum song, it was absolutely amazing. But you say looking for positivity then, Peter. Okay, well, where do they start? Where is the starting point to rebuild Manchester United?
Well, I think it's already begun. First of all, we've got new owners then. So Jim has bought 27% of the club. He's brought in people. So Dave Brailsford is in there. Obviously, we've seen Jason Wilcox. Dan Athworth, probably he will arrive. We've got a new CEO coming in. So he's changing the leadership of the club. And there are, they will come in with new ideas. They'll come in with different experiences from different other football clubs. I'm hoping still that there's going to be some powerful Manchester United involvement in that as well. So bringing in people who has some experience about what Manchester United is all about when it's going well. So that combination of new input, new inspiration, mixed up with people who knows exactly what Manchester United is all about and what it's supposed to be. I think that is a good start. That's a good starting point. Now, that looks good from the outset. Of course, we've got to look at what every decision they're going to make from now on. There's a lot of talk about changing the manager. Are they going to change the manager? Are they going to bring in another coach? What about the playing staff? You know, how many players are they going to bring in, first of all? Can they afford to bring players in? And how many players will not be there when the season starts in about 3 months' time again? All of these things they're going to be scrutinized, but they've got it. It's a good starting point for me, you know. It gives me, as a fan, it gives me a little bit of hope that something is changing. It's not going to be the same, distant owners sitting in America, not really in touch with the football club, leaving it to people who don't really know too much about football, and then just spending money. That's not going to happen going forward, and I think that's a really, really big positive. I think we are by far the most net spending club in the world over the last 10 years. I think we've spent twice as much as number 2 on the list. That's got to stop. I mean, you know, we don't get value for money in sort of the current system. So for me, those are the positives, and you know, I'm pinning my hope to that. But I also know that's going to take time. It's not going to change. We're not going to, you know, suddenly see Man United challenging for the title in 12 months' time. That's not going to happen. But what we want to see is improvement everywhere. You know, the number of injuries we've had, I mean, it's unprecedented. I don't know why we as a football club has got that many injuries. You've got to look at everyone, you know, the coach, the science staff, the medical staff. Why have we got this many injuries? All
Peter,
of that. Go on.
Peter, got to stop you there. Thank you very much indeed. It's nice to have a little bit of positivity and looking ahead in a more positive manner. I just want to squeeze in a quick call from Jamie, the Manchester United fan, who's got an interesting view and one that I've not heard before about Erik ten Hag. Morning, Jamie.
Morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
So, what's your view on Erik ten Hag?
There's nothing wrong with the manager. There's so much I hear from the mainstream media constantly going in on the manager. I'm confident you could put any manager into that side with the players that he's got. You need to remember, we've got, I think, 5 different managers worth of players in that squad, all trying to play a different style of football. We've had, I think, 63 injuries and illnesses this season. I've never known it. It doesn't matter what manager you put in, that's not changing.
Jamie, I take your point, mate, but surely you have to accept that the buck stops with the manager. I mean, you can talk about injuries, you can talk about poor player performances, and we do, but the manager will accept that that's where the buck stops.
Well, no, I'm right. So look at Ten Hag. Look at him when he had Ajax, when he had an actual structure above him. Players that he wanted in that squad, players that wanted to play for him. There was a different style of football. There is a style there that I think he tries to put into Manchester United, but it's never going to work because he's not got the players there that can play that style and want to play with him. I would tell you now, 4 players that I would build that squad around. The rest of them can go for me. The rest of them can go.
Go on quickly.
Give us your 4 then, mate.
Mainu, Martinez, who has been injured the whole season, Garnacho and Højlund. They are the 4 that I'd keep, and then I'd build around them.
Okay, Jamie, look, thanks very much indeed. Jamie reckoning Erik ten Hag is doing a decent job, and that injuries and 1 or 2 other things are the issues there.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.